general manager of the Bank of International Settlements, Augustin Carstens, he claimed victory for fiat. He said the battle has been won. A technology doesn't make for trusted money. Only the legal, historical infrastructure behind central banks can give great credibility. And so, what do you guys make of these comments? This claim of victory for fiat from the central banker.
Well, when that happened, I noticed I couldn't make any more Bitcoin transactions.
It just stopped. Yeah, we should just
stop. Everything stopped.
We should just give up. This whole idea.
Yeah. But I still can make Bitcoin transactions. I can make Lightning payments, and I have been nonstop, and that's accelerating. So I don't know if he might have a premature claim of victory.
Yeah. What about you, Troy?
Hi, I'm Crypto Positive. If you like this video, please smash like and don't forget to leave a comment in the comments section below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Yeah, I had a bunch of thoughts actually when I heard that. One of which was like, oh, so they are fighting us, and they're admitting that it's a fight. Like, we weren't a contender. We weren't, 2 cycles ago, we weren't worth mentioning by these people. Now they're declaring victory. That means we're like the resistance, and we now have status. But another thing was, he put it in terms of trusted money. I kind of agree with him. Bitcoin isn't trusted money. It obviates the need for trust. It's like, we aren't playing your game, pal. And you just declared victory over a war, which we are not interested in playing. So you haven't seen the real threat of Bitcoin, which is to obviate the need for the entire competition you are trying to win. And the other thing is just kind of like, it's one of those, it's scared memes. The fact that he needs to declare victory reminded me of the mission accomplished George Bush trip to the middle, to the aircraft carrier. It's like, when you have to declare victory while nothing has really happened, that means you need to signal something. That says something about you and not about what's actually going on. And it's like Bitcoin is just so happy to sit there in this kind of dormant phase, as it has done for much of its life, right? Just like, this is a bad comparison, but it's like one of these viruses that hides in your body and then comes out and attacks when your immune system is vulnerable. Right? So
rheumatoid arthritis.
More like, like it's more like just lying in wait. Bitcoin, go ahead. It's your move, and when you start to abuse the printer, when you start to deny people the ability to make payments, like, Bitcoin will be there to service them. It's the insurance policy against you. It doesn't go away. It just waits for you to make a mistake.
I love that. I love that, Troy. I like it it just reinforces what most people in the existing system think is Bitcoin's priced in that existing system, and the truth is Bitcoin is repricing the entire existing system, and that transition is what we're dealing with, and that transition is open for any single person on the planet to move. And nobody can stop it. It's just literally impossible to stop. But it's repricing the existing system, not the other way around.
Yeah. Those are good points. And I just think it's funny when they come out, it's some arbitrary, it's 14 years, uptime still 99.9%. All the fundamental metrics are up and to the right. And then they claim victory as fiat currencies are being debased at an increasingly rapid rate right now. It's kind of ironic. It's like they don't have any awareness about what's going on, or maybe they do, and they're just trying to paint this picture that things are rosy. But the other system continues to gain momentum, the system that we're all excited about today. And his comments were interesting, I think, when you think about the piece that you wrote, Jeff, a couple months ago, the Finding Signal in a Noisy World, brought up this idea that it's the first time we've had decentralization and a secure and decentralized network, and what that means. And he talks about how only a historical infrastructure built with laws and institutions can have credibility. But that's not necessarily the case now that Bitcoin exists, right?
Well, I think that's actually one of the things that so many people have a hard time understanding Bitcoin, especially if rule of law a perception of rule of law has existed in your life. in those regions, it would be harder to believe that in Bitcoin, because you could trust the financial institution, you could trust the institutions, there was rule of law to be able to protect you. But money is superordinate to rule of law, and if it wasn't, then you would expect where money was most broken, you'd have the best laws protecting people. And it looks exactly the inverse. And so what that says, and it's pretty obvious, what ends up happening with the corruption of money becomes corruption of laws, becomes corruption of the state, as everybody races in to be able to, and the money protects actually the people creating the laws, because if you have more money, you lobby and you get your politician elected to be able to control the next step, and laws change in favor of the people who have the money. And that's where we are in the world, and there's a lot of people who don't know that that's happening, and it's been happening for a long time. And the cascade of all of the chaos that's caused in the world is actually a cascade of that signal, that broken signal in money, corrupting a system. And there's people that believe that the laws can protect them from that. And the laws are designed to actually protect the abusers of money, not the other way around. And so what Bitcoin changes is it removes places like I wrote about, that we've never had decentralization and trust together, decentralization and security together. So we had to trust an institution instead. And we hoped that that institution would protect us from the very abuses that would happen. And it turns out that those institutions as well, because they need funding, are part of an infrastructure that requires, so if you have manipulation under that, if you have manipulation of money underneath the institutions, laws change over time and hurt individual people. It's the first time in history that we've had something different. That you could essentially obviate the need for that institution with the decentralization and security together and put us in control. But why it's so hard to see is we're used to trusting our bank. We're used to trusting somebody else to do that. We're used to trusting an institution isn't corrupt. And that change as they become more corrupt becomes hard to see, and we're not used to trusting ourselves. So that's why self-custody is hard for people. They think their bank is safer when their bank is not safe. And you think about regulation. Entire regulation sits on top. So you have regulation to protect your money on top of a system designed to steal your money.
Пустой зал, ожидание вокзала. Стою и смотрю куда-то в сторону перрона.